I was upstairs listening to my new Will Smith CD, and then I had like
New
a
Will
connection.
Smith.
Yeah, I was just thinking about conspiracy theories and how that I think is like a good topic I want to bring back reoccurring every week, where I kind of bring out my own conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Not super my own, but ones I research myself and I think are kind of like pretty trustworthy and
Or ones you
there.
just completely made up. Like
Yeah,
you don't
no, we'll
say.
we'll definitely do some of those. Yeah, absolutely. That was my plan originally, was to start just making shit up and being like, and then you ask, so where's your credibility? I don't know. I made it up. I don't know. I just made that shit up. Uh, but my conspiracy theory this week is on Poltergeist, the 1982 classic horror movie. Paul, are you familiar with that? Have you seen it before?
I don't know if I have.
You got to watch that. That's one of the greatest
Poltergeist.
ghost movies of all time. 1982, the original. Don't watch
Okay.
anything after that. You don't want to watch 2, 3. You don't want to watch the remake. None of that shit. But if you haven't seen the movie, it's very terrifying. It's from 1982 and it still generally scares the fuck out of me. Some of those scenes are horrifying. I don't like ghosts. I don't mess with ghosts, demons, goblins. Gutterball is fucking anti any of those ghouls, creatures of the night, leviathans. I don't like them. I don't want to see them. Get them out of my face. But there is some weird things that happened around the Poltergeist 1982 movie, and I'm gonna delve right into it right now. Now, in the scene, there is this clown doll that is possessed by a ghost that tries to strangle the little kid to death. He's like,
I think I've
it's
seen
creepy. It's
clips of this movie.
Yeah, you probably have. And well, they reuse that clown bit in many movies. They use it Scary Movie.
Yeah,
Remember
oh,
when the clown
yeah.
rapes the guy?
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, where you go?" So
Under the
imagine that
bed.
clown. Yeah,
Yeah,
that clown is
yeah.
very real to the movie. It looks exactly like the one from the movie. That clown had yeah, he didn't rape the boy in the movie though. He just tried to strangle him to death. It's okay, it's better. And he was possessed by a demon, so it's cool.
Isn't it like
So
isn't it like the black dude
yeah,
under
so
the
that guy.
bed?
And then oh yeah, the clown's like all scared. I forgot. That's such a good scene. Oh my god. That is not this movie. This is a different movie. Completely different.
I forgot
He's like, "Where
about
are you
that.
going?" He's like, "Wait a
Yeah,
minute, no."
yeah, and he grabs.
Yeah, he's quiet. Dude, that is dark. Rape is not funny unless it's on evil clowns. You can rape evil clowns with
Is
no
what
problem.
scary movie was that? Two, three?
Two, three, maybe. I don't know. They're all the same to me. They kind of blend in together. I like the one with the aliens and the signs one they did with Charlie Sheen. That one's good.
Remember when the dude cocks a shovel and the shotgun shell comes out of it?
Oh yeah, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, back to Poltergeist 1982. In this scene, there is a movie where the young kid actor Oliver Robbins is getting strangled by this clown, and they filmed it backwards to make it look like the arm was wrapping around his throat, but they just did it backwards, so
Yeah.
it was just unwrapping. The mechanical arm is made of metal and it is strong. It's supposed to like close back to the clown's face, and it grabbed Oliver Robbins by the neck and like started actually strangling him and like damn near like actually killed the kid. But Steven Spielberg was like, "Yo, that kid's getting choked to death," and like literally pried the machine off of the kid, kind of saving his life. He's looking back. The dude said he probably would have gotten really fucked up if no one helped him, and it seemed like no one knew what was going on because it's kind of hard to tell if
Yeah.
when someone's getting choked, especially that bad. So that's not cool. Thankfully, he was fine, wasn't injured, so that's good. That's not much of a curse. He
Was
wasn't
it
injured. He got strangled a little
so
bit.
it was a Steven Spielberg movie?
Yes, it was. He's got strangled a little bit. That he didn't get hurt. He's fine. But someone else got hurt much worse after the movie aired. So Demik Dunn, one of the actors that played the sister in the movie, she was murdered during the year of that movie, like a couple months after it came out, by her partner. She was strangled to death at 23 years old. And it's very, very shocking and very sad that she died like months after filming receded, like right after.
Yeah.
She's not the only actor that died after the movie came out. Heather Work, the main child, she was 5 years old when the movie came out. She died 6 years after the movie came out. She got Crohn's and was rushed to the hospital and was died at 12 years old. Unfortunately, very sad, very freak accident that happened.
Man.
Caught everyone off guard. It was very sad stuff. She was in all three of the originals, 1, 2, and 3. I don't know why I need to specify. I said all three of the originals, and I told you 1, 2, and 3, but now you know it was 1, 2, and 3. So just make sure get get you up to speed on that one. While in the hospital, though, she demanded the TV was not in her room because she was so scared of the TV from the movies. Now, if you don't know the movie, Paul, the TV is the way the dead communicates with her. Like the TV
Yeah,
static is
yeah,
how
it's
they
like
communicate.
blue static,
Yeah.
right?
So there's that scene where she's like, who, they're here. Who's here? The TV people. That scene still gives me goosebumps. The TV people are here. It's like, what are you staring at? Your kids staring at the TV static, and you're just like, the TV people, what the fuck? You get out of my house. Get that kid out of my house. Possessed, I don't trust it.
Yeah.
That's sus as hell. But she was so scared of the TV, she didn't want it to be in her hospital room, and then that's just kind of interesting to me and made me feel bad for her a little bit, being that scarred from the series. But now that's not much of a curse either. I mean, like, it's not definitive evidence that anything bad happened to these people. It's just a coincidence, just a coincidence. Well, is it more of a coincidence that during the scene, so in the movie, um, the whole premise of the movie is that they built this town on top of an ancient Indian burial ground.
Yeah.
And they show the bodies and the caskets and stuff. And, they fall into the water with all the skeletons and stuff. Now, instead of using fake skeletons, they went to the morgue in that town and bought real skeletons.
Good
Because
lord.
real skeletons are cheaper than fake ones, obviously. So they had dozens of real skeletons and caskets filmed on screen in the mud. So real people, if you watch that movie, any skeleton you see is a real dead human person decomposing. And they were like, we're just not gonna tell the actors. We're just not gonna tell them that, yeah, these are real skeletons. So I really think that using real skeletons in that movie is what caused some of these kids to get fucked up. And this isn't even the end of it. Like, I still have one more thing to go on
How
to, which
did
is even
Steven
fucking
Spielberg
weirder.
get off scot-free?
It was just a standard back then. No one really gave a shit, as far as I know, from what I read. It was just thing that people did commonly, actually, because it's like, if you think about it, it's no different from it being used for medical purposes. It's just being filmed on screen. I think
Yeah.
it's a little
I
fucked,
think it's
but
a very, very different than being used for medical purposes, Jackson.
I don't think it is that much. I
They're
mean,
just
they're just trying to
throwing like
sell it.
it's like the scene
Bodies.
where they're throwing the bodies in the river or something.
That being said, you want to use my rotten body for anything? I'm open to that. Let me know. Hit me up after I'm dead. I got you, Doc. Hit my line. I'll let you. But
Jack, are we gonna do like at your funeral one of those things where they like basically stuff you but make you like in a
taxidermy.
scenario? Yeah, in a scenario where you're doing something that you like to do. You
Yeah,
remember
that's what I
those?
want. Yeah, I want to be sitting down at my desk gaming like this or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That like no, I want to be just hammering some like homeless man in the face as like my
And you have a steak
taxidermy.
hanging out of your mouth?
Yeah, I say at my face, just railing down blows upon that homeless man. I wouldn't do that though. I wouldn't do that. Okay, but this is the weirdest thing about the Poltergeist movie in
Yes.
1982. This is a Mandela effect from the movie. Now, this one is kind of undisputed. I haven't seen many people talk about it. I learned about this when I was very little, and I was extremely fascinated by the movie, by this, and it creeps me out to this day when I read up on it again, and the fact that no one talks about it and how fucking weird this is. So the movie Poltergeist came out in 1982. In the kid's bedroom, above the boy's bed, you can go watch this. It's all on there. Just go watch the movie. It's there. It's pretty easy to see and read too. There is a poster advertising the Super Bowl 22, which is in 1988, January 31st. Now that is 6 years after the movie came out. Isn't that weird? Why would they have a football poster for Super Bowl 22 up on their wall if it's the movie came out in 1982? Isn't that weird, Paul? That's kind of weird. Why would they have that? You know what's even weirder is they got the date, the location, and the teams exactly right for this Super Bowl that came 6 years after the movie came out. It was the Redskins versus the Broncos in San Diego, California. They played on January 31st, and this poster from a movie in 1982 is in it. It's right there on the wall. You can read it. It's not even hard to read. You can just see it. Is that a coincidence? Isn't that a little weird?
Is it
Isn't
one
that a
of
little
the
funny?
is it one of those is that on like the original VHS of it though?
No, there's a remastered version. It's still there, but you can see it on the VHS. I've watched the VHS. It's not that hard to see, and it's there. It's blatant. Like you can read it. You can go look it up right now. Isn't that a little weird? Isn't
Yeah,
that a
it
little
is weird.
creepy?
How would they have that?
Have the football poster for 6 years later. Here's the even creepier part. And this one you can't dispute because this is facts. This is just all online. Everything online is facts. Heather Work, the child star of that movie, fell ill 1980. Hold on, fell ill 1988, January 31st. The football Super Bowl happened 1988, January 31st, and she died the next day. Now, isn't that even weirder? How when they predicted that football game, she died on the exact date of that football game prediction 6 years later.
Jackson, I'm starting to
That's
think
four.
this is just a lot of coincidences.
This is not a lot of coincidences. This is no way, buddy. Read this. Look it up. It's scary, dude. Explain to me how
There
this would
was
have
some
happened.
guy out there though at the time that saw that on the original VHS and was like, okay, he wrote it down. 6 years. He put all his money. Or wait, no, because it didn't say who won the Super Bowl, right?
Mm-mm.
What
It's
if
just
you?
supposed
What
to.
if you just made? Could you make a bet of who's gonna be in the Super Bowl that year?
Yeah, I guess you. Yeah, I guess you could have.
And he just does both teams and he just cashes out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea,
If it was
honestly.
like actually like real, like
Yeah.
goddamn.
I mean, it's right. I mean, just to see 1988 and Redskins versus the Broncos in San Diego, it's all in that poster. Paul's gonna go look up the poster right now and find it. I'm telling you, he doesn't believe me, but it's there. Yeah, that's very interesting to me.
Goddamn, you're right.
Yeah, I know I'm right. I'm not lying, dude. I have researched this shit since I was like 10 years old. I was deeply fascinated with the curse behind this movie. And it's not just this movie, Poltergeist 2 and 3 and even the remakes have had a lot of problems. But I didn't really research those because I didn't care too much about them. But that's just a blatant case of the Mandela effect, is what people take it as. It's just universe hopping, I guess. But again, this is all conspiracy theory. Take this with a grain of salt, the absolute smallest grain of salt. It's just something interesting that I thought was pretty funny. I wanted to bring it up on the podcast. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we're gonna do fucking conspiracy theories all day, every day, from here on out. So get used to it.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.